be fucking 70 years old. Wish blood in the face. Okay.
Fuck. Just about threw a fucking rib right there. We're rocking them Ducos.
Oh.
Dude, these are cool. I gotta figure out some place to put those.
Put them in the bathroom. Or you put them in the hallway.
Hallway?
So at night, you have a little bit of light in case, you know.
Just tap it on?
Yeah. So the spirits know where to go to. They have a path of travel to your room. So they could enter your vessel and fucking steal your soul.
Don't be talking about devil shit, dude. I already got scared already.
I'm scared all the time.
I gotta be here by myself, dude.
I know it. Oh, fuck. I should have been. Yeah, I need to do more things to you.
More devil shit,
yeah.
Huh? Fucker. And my protector, R.I.P. Max, my dog Max passed away. I love that motherfucker, but he was my protector, dude.
Good dog, a great dog.
He was big enough to deter spirits and aliens because they would be like, oh, that's a big motherfucker.
Well, not even that. That dog had a good spirit about him. I don't know. To me, I just like...
he's a good guy.
He'd come up, let you fucking pet his head and said, okay, motherfucker, I'll let you pet my head. I'm going to go back and lay down.
Yeah.
I like that. I don't like dogs that are needy.
Like that one that's going to open the door here in about 10
Zoe?
minutes. She'll fucking open that door.
She's needy, dude. She's needy. I don't like needy dogs.
She was your dog. She'd be in the closet, no doubt.
Yeah. She would have came out by now.
All right, let's do some what's ups, man. We got a what's up to this is G-Town Hoops. They got swag, they got shirts, they got beanies, all that kind of stuff, and it's put out there by Coach Ogus.
Okay.
And I think you can get it on Messenger or Facebook, or check out maybe gtown.com, G-Town Hoops.
Okay.
So what's up to George?
Support
and
your local business.
Yes, of course, man. We didn't get nothing for that. We just fucking love to put the love out there. What's up to Nate, Larry, Casey, and Seth Tosta, and my girl Gypsy, and of course Berta. What's up, Berta? What's up to Mark Teller and previous show host Rick Lee? What's up, man?
What's up, Wrigley?
He said he ain't get no love, dude.
He ain't get no love, and he always watches.
Yeah, so... You know, we did the first couple shout-outs, but the way we're going to do it from now on is if you comment on the show, we're going to fucking shout you out, right?
Right. Or on Facebook, on our Facebook page.
Yeah, and that's what he was saying about Bull and Whittemore. Well, those guys hit me up on Facebook or tell me about the show and all that kind of stuff. They just don't post it on the YouTube link.
Well, you got to. But you got to.
But this week we had Floodlit 1, of course, good listener. My man Casey Williams, always putting down the good word for the fellas and the motherfuckers.
Yep.
What's up to Vanessa Evans, first-timer? That's the first time she came up on us, huh?
Mm-hmm.
My man Brandon X, hopefully get him to a show sometime next week, if not the next. Happy birthday to Emily Campbell tomorrow. And to a special guest shout-out and friend of over 40 years this week from his son, Little Danny, his wife, Irma, and his daughter, Liana. He's a retired E7 Sergeant First Class, currently working with Air Gas as a chemical intelligence officer. He's the first half-breed to be jumped into the Sinaloa cartel.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah. So,
that's legit, dude.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. And,
can you put that on your headstone?
I don't know, dude. I don't know what's going to... I pray for the guy, you know, hopefully... Oh, dude, I can't knock that. But, of course, we're talking about our main man from Rodan, Daniel Eugene Garcia. I love you, DG.
Oh, and then next Sunday, before I forget,
preview,
we're gonna have Pablo
Saldivar
coming on the show to talk about college versus the tradesman, and probably to fucking school me on some politics.
Yeah, because you got to learn, Weller. You got to learn. This guy's got knowledge you need to learn, bro.
Watching Fox News, who's a fucking well-educated, but anyways.
Dude, so I seen this. I know it ain't on the show, but I seen this. So you know, like me, I look for shit to watch on Netflix or Hulu or whatever it is, right?
Right.
But there's a Netflix show, and it's this chick that does a documentary about how her father was a hardcore Democrat when she grew up and they had their Democratic family. But because of Fox News and Rush Limbaugh on the radio, he's turned and now he's a hardcore right-wing Republican.
That's how much that shit affects people, dude. I'm telling you.
But, you know, something happened to him where he just decided, like, fucking, I'm not this person anymore. Now I'm this person. But she's so pissed off, she does a documentary about it.
Well, that's his right. Whatever. I mean, that's people's right. I went the opposite. Like I told you, I fucking watch Fox News all the time. I watch every single day I come home. I'm like, fucking 5 o'clock Hannity. I'm on it, dude. Fucking,
but, you know,
Bill O'Reilly, and then I'd watch Hannity and Combs. I'd watch Fox News every fucking day. Like before people were even into all this stuff that people are doing now, talking politics. I was doing this in my 20s. I was coming home watching Fox News. I was like really into it. And then I guess I got my family and I started like, wait a second here. This is kind of opposite of what I believe, really, and I just switched, and everybody has the right to switch.
But that's usually what happens, man, in the progression, because you know I'm transphobic and all that kind of stuff. So usually in the progression, that's what happens is you go from being Republican to a Democrat. Then you have a friend that just spends the night, or you guys just do camping trips together. And then, you know, it progresses to something else. You start buying a fucking Chevy instead of a Toyota.
No, but okay, and I shouldn't say that. Like all of a sudden I switched to become a Republican. I mean, I just recently registered as an independent, and so and like I said before, I mean, I argue with people all the time, and most of these people I'm arguing with are on some sort of fucking social program or some sort of fucking disability or something, and I'm like, wait a second, I live more conservative than you, motherfucker. I live a conservative lifestyle. It's just some stuff I don't agree with. I mean, I agree with the base of the Republican Party, but I don't think the Republican Party now is a Republican Party. I think it's a party of Trump, and I just believe in treating people right. And
King Trump.
Yeah, King Trump.
King Trump, dude. Right?
I do what you do, dude. I'll fucking post something like that picture of Trump says, "In your guts, you know he's nuts."
Yeah.
And dude, it's like alarm goes off in this fucking nutty right dude that just like boom, comment. Like it just bothers people so much, and I love it. I'll sit there and laugh, and I'm like, what could I do? And then after, at the end of the comments, I put a picture of my family, and I said, blessed by God.
No, the best thing to do is just drop the mic, not even reply, because they're waiting for you to come back and say, ah.
Yeah, you're right.
But I love it.
It's funny.
Close that out. That's introductions. We did good. What the fuck, dude? So we're gonna start out with sleep, man.
Sleep.
Yeah.
I have never had a good night's sleep since I was probably fucking 11 years old, dude.
How about when you get drunk? Do you sleep good when you're drunk?
I wake up once or twice a night. And probably I do have the sleep apnea or whatever. I probably have that, but I don't fucking, I'm like self-diagnosed. But
do you snore?
Yes, I snore. I wake myself up. I just, you know what? And I did start sleeping better when I changed my diet, when I went on that little fucking, I don't even know, I don't like saying keto or whatever, but I mean, I just was following DG's advice on some of the stuff, and I did for about 2 months, and I did start sleeping better, right? I stopped drinking soda, I started drinking water more, and fucking eating better, not heavy. It was more, no bread and stuff, and I started sleeping better, I did, but then I was like, somebody was fucking eating a piece of pizza in front of me, I was like, dude, I will suck your dick for a bite of that pizza, dude. And then I started thinking, man, I'd rather just die early and eat good. Fuck it.
That's my routine, dude. I'm like, fuck it. Right now I'm trying to lose weight because we're all on that weight loss shit for the New Year's.
No, not we. I'm not. You guys are.
The straight guys and the fellas are. So, I don't know, man. I'm sleeping the same, but my problem is I have bad shoulder on both sides. So anytime I roll over when I'm sleeping, I fucking wake up. It feels like a fucking Charlie horse. But I was telling you, my favorite, dude, is like yesterday. It's like fucking 2 o'clock. I got nothing going on. I already did what I wanted to do, and I take a nap. I love it. I just take a nap, dude.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with a nap, especially at our age.
But I always have the radio playing. I think that might be part of it. I always have music in the house.
Okay.
And maybe songs get into my head or something. I don't know what it is, but I always have fucking nightmares when I take little naps.
Do you?
Dude, and they're cool though. Like the world's gonna end, aliens come and fucking blow everything up, and I like those kind of dreams.
Do you sleep good at night, though?
I usually sleep about 2 to 3 hours, and I wake up. And then I sleep about another 2 to 3 hours, and I wake up.
How many times do you piss a night?
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No.
I probably piss twice a night, dude.
Yeah, occasionally I will, like if I drink before I went to bed or something. But I usually go to bed about 11:30, and I wake up about 2:33, and then I go back to bed and wake up about 4:35.
See, I gotta get up at 3 anyways, but I usually go to...
Yeah, when do you fucking go to bed, dude?
Well, I always say I go to bed after 10, but really, I fall asleep after dinner on the couch. This is my routine. I'll eat dinner, and then I'll sit there on the couch, and I'll fucking doze off and wake up about 9:30 or 10, go to bed, fucking go to sleep, wake up about 12, fucking go pee, come back, lay down, wake up about 2:30, lay there till 3.
Yeah.
Pretty much my routine.
I did have when I was taking the Ambien, right?
Mm-hmm.
That shit knocks you out, bro.
I bet.
It knocks you out. So I would get a good 6 hours of sleep. It's just uncut sleep, 6 hours, boom.
But I mean, when you smoke weed, like it's a double-edged sword. It like helps you sleep better. The problem is that when I did it, I would wake up tired. It seems like I was just tired, and I don't want to wake up tired. I feel like waking up with some energy.
Dude, I had the long release Ambien, like it releases over a longer period of time.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first started, man, I was fucking driving to work, fucking nodding off and shit early in the morning. Like I pulled over at Arnold Road. You know how far Arnold Road is from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking like 3 miles on the freeway. I had to fucking pull over, dude, because I couldn't keep my fucking eyes open.
Yeah, well, that's dangerous.
That's why I quit taking that shit, dude. I couldn't wake up. It was like I was fucking drowsy.
Have you tried just jacking off before you go to bed?
Of course, several thousand times in my life.
Does it help you sleep better?
I don't think so.
No?
Sometimes you got to get it out. It's like you got to get it out. You know what I mean?
So when's the last time you tried it and you slept well?
Probably last night.
Yeah.
Or maybe Friday.
Maybe Thursday or maybe Wednesday.
Thursday too,
maybe Tuesday.
Yeah. I've been going on a trip, dude, living all by myself. There's nobody around, so I can walk around naked. I could throw down a fucking hand session in the living room, dude.
Do you really?
Yeah, on the big screen TV.
No, I still do it in the dark because I'm still ashamed.
On your phone, fucking in the closet.
No, I'm still ashamed. I don't even have no lights on. I don't want to commit a sin.
Oh, dude. I don't care. I did, for an old man, I did it 3 times the other day, and I was proud of myself.
In one day?
Yes.
What do you think is the average for a 40-year-old man to jack off?
Dude,
during a week. How many times a week?
Dude, I'll tell you honestly, like last year, this is a fucking real stat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even fucking lying. I maybe did it 4 times last year.
Okay.
That's it, the whole year.
2019.
The whole year,
So
yeah.
2020, how many times? And it just started.
This month, probably around 30. Dude, because
you're making up for lost time, huh?
Well, I have my wife. My wife helped me get rid of those intentions and those needs and stuff. Now.
Okay.
But now I watch more porn than I ever did before, dude.
So you're a deviant.
Like I heard you knock on the door, I switched it to Sports Center, but it was porn.
No, you didn't. Well, you care what I see if you're watching porn or not. As long as ain't no fucking.
That's what's funny, dude. I could tell what you're watching because we got the same feed for motherfuckers on YouTube. So when I see 2 dudes fucking, I'm like, what the fuck they're watching, dude?
Dude, I'll tell you right now, I do not use this phone for looking at porn. I don't think I've ever once looked at porn on this phone because it's a company phone, and I'm not getting fucking busted, dude.
No way, dude.
No.
Can you imagine that, dude? That conversation when you get caught at work.
I still go buy magazines.
I haven't seen a magazine.
I'm just playing.
Dude.
I don't have a fucking magazine, dude.
Dude, that's what I don't get either. Why are people? We've talked about it before. Why download shit?
Download? Why do people download porn? It's for free. You could just view it.
Well, I remember back in the day, if you had a VHS tape or you got even a CD, I mean, that was cool.
And your parents would have a different name on it.
Yeah.
And you'd watch it. But, like, even these pedophiles, I'm glad that they do it. I'm glad that they get caught. But these pedophiles, they download all these kiddie porn. Like, why would you download anything? We could talk about that fucking American Assassin pretty soon because we both watched that movie.
Yeah.
But we were just talking because me and my daughter were watching it. And it was like, why would you use your computer to do any searches or anything? Like, we were watching another movie, but it was like, I'm searching how to, what was it? Kill a person or drug a person or
get rid of a dead body.
Or, fuck, what was that movie I watching? But he was the doctor in, Death Wish. It's a new one.
Bruce Willis.
Yeah, and he's learning how to do a gun. I'm like, they could go on your computer and see that you researched how to take apart a gun. How to, like, they could see all this. Like, why would you use your whatever you use this phone for, somebody will see what you used it for.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why people think they're going to get away with it.
That's why you got to have a burner phone.
Yeah, you got a burner phone.
Yeah, so this is a good example.
There you go.
You got to have a burner phone because this one's dirty as fuck. FBI is definitely on this number, dude. That's another thing, dude. When you check out books at the library, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking about it, dude. They look at the shit that I've checked out, like about Saul Alinsky, fucking Mao Zedong, Jim Morrison, all these different books that I've checked out and read. If they looked at it, they'd be like, oh, we've got to put this motherfucker on a list.
On a watch list, huh?
And that's the same thing with your phone or your searches.
Just you and Bernie Sanders?
Yeah, me and Bernie got the same
you
shit
fucking
going
commies. I love when I say something online, like I'll say, something about Trump, and it'll be like, one of my mom's cousins will be like, you're a fucking commie. You're a fucking, you love South America. And like, it's just like fucking crazy rant. I'm like, dude, holy fuck, dude.
You're touching a hard spot with them. That's what it is.
Why is that?
No, that's what their life's entailed about.
It is,
Those
dude.
people that jump off like that, I don't care if it's politics or if it's sports or whatever. Like, you talk to a Niner fan, right?
They're hardcore.
No, there are some that are.
Yeah.
But there's just some that aren't.
Right.
The same thing with politics. There's some people that just aren't. Dude. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're right about different subjects. There's just fucking, there's 100%ers. We talked about that before. My brother, he's a 100%er. Whether it's guns or it's religion or whether it's dieting or whatever it is, whatever he's doing, if it's fishing, if it's fucking whatever it is, whatever he's doing at the time, he's all in. 100%. There's no moderation. It's 100% all in.
You know what I gotta say?
It's kind of overboard, I think.
Dude, I mean, good to you. If that makes you happy, that's all that matters to me. But like the dieting and all that kind of shit, right? Like, I'm not following a diet plan, but I'm using
common sense.
Common sense eating, dude. Like, right. I'm eating a salad every day now. I've never done that. I have a controlled portion of lunch.
Know what's good for you and what's not, for the most part.
Listen to your body, because your body tells you sometimes, hey, you need some bread. Your body's telling you, I need to eat some bread. Well,
they say, that's what I don't agree with. Like, you need protein, but you can get the protein out of this. It's like, nah, man, you still need. We're carnivores, right? Yeah. We're fucking carnivores from the caveman days. Whatever you want to say. We're made to eat fucking meat. And some greenery.
Tea. That's what our tea. These ain't vegetarian tea,
right? And I don't know. I don't see nothing wrong. But it's like fucking drugs. It's like alcohol. It's everything in moderation, dude. You have to have moderation.
That's it, man. And like I said, my body was telling me because my knee starts hurting. That's when I know I'm getting overweight, because my knee starts.
Well, because you're always on your knees.
Yeah,
fucking
a lot.
Giving head.
A lot. Actually, I've been sitting at a desk, dude, and that's what tripped me out. Like, why is my fucking knee hurting? I've been sitting at a desk.
Because you're 45 fucking years old, dude.
It ain't that old, though, man. I'm trying to get on that kick, too. Like, my grandpa would say, or my dad would say, oh, man, if I was 45, fuck,
Yeah.
So I'm getting that out of my head, like, fucking, I'm getting old, because fuck it, I'm not.
Well,
I'm going to do shit still.
No, you can. And then, like, the fucking, the mental aspect of it, it's funny, it's like, dude, you don't have to. I was talking with my son about this yesterday. It's like people will try to pretend they're that age. I don't know how to explain it. It's we got to act 45. Well, we got to act 35. Well, we got to act. You can. Well, I'm kneeling on my knees and push and play, and we're running in to do this thing like fucking. And I'm thinking I'm 45 years old, but like, who fucking cares? Like, I was telling my son yesterday, be you. And we're talking about people who are odd and different. I was like, we're all different. We're all odd. You have to accept it. I said, the weirdo people to me are the people that are like, hey, how you doing, Fraser? How's everything going? Yeah, the stock market's doing really good. Like, to me, I'm like, what the fuck, man? That's odd to me, because that can't be really who you are. Inside your mind.
It's a facade, dude. They're putting it up. But to me, this is what happens. Like, I'm 45. You're talking to someone that's 35.
Mm-hmm.
They want to try to be 45 by the music you listen to or the breakdancing you grew up. They're trying to vibe with you, even though there's a 10-year difference.
Yes.
It works the same way when you're talking to somebody that's 55, right?
Yes.
You're trying to meet somewhere like where you're both 50 years old.
Yes, and I do think that like, I'm talking about a mentality, but like, I was talking to my daughter about this. I mean, like, I will buy Adidas shoes, but they'll be like Adidas dad shoes. Like, I'm not trying to buy the new Jordans. I'm not trying to get skinny jeans. I'm not trying to fucking, wear a button-up shirt but button it down to my chest, or V-neck shirts or whatever. I'm like, that's a new style that's happened. I'm not trying to emulate that, to try to be young. But in my head, I'm young. I say, young kid. Fucking my sense of humor is like a fucking 9-year-old boy, dude. But you can be like age appropriate. You could dress age appropriate, but just
I don't know
be who you are.
How am I supposed to dress if I'm 45 though? I don't understand that. How am I supposed to dress?
You're dressing with the mentality you've had your whole life. That's how you're supposed to fucking dress.
I know. I'm wearing a fucking hockey.
That's what I'm saying. That's what.
But it's a Superbowl, right?
But that's you, and that might not be in style now, but you don't care. because you're 45 years old. If you are 25, you're worried about what's in style now. And if you're 45 and you're worried about what the 25-year-old style is, and you're trying to dress like that, then you're not trying to. You're not actually being yourself.
I see it because office life, dude. I see it. So you have these young. They're not even millennials. They're younger than millennials now. These new kids coming out of college that are working in the office, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're dressing a certain way, and then I see guys my age trying to emulate or dress young like those guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, you got a pot belly, right?
Yeah.
You got
and you got a tight ass shirt on.
Yeah, I mean, he's wearing a medium, and he should be wearing a large. Dude.
And then the sleeves are up to here and shit.
Yeah, and the buttons are like coming apart right there, dude. And he's rocking Jordans.
Yes.
I'm like, dude.
I don't know. It's just like, oh my gosh, dude.
Dude,
I would embarrass.
How the fuck did we end up on this when we started out with sleep, dude?
Because we could talk forever, Fresh. We
dude.
talked fucking 2 hours before we even fucking started.
I know. We fucked it up today. We'll close out sleep, dude. Let's get some fucking horns on this thing. Okay, how about today is Super Bowl Sunday, dude? So let's just throw out our predictions real quick, dude. Who do you got? What do you think the score is going to be?
Well,
and a possible MVP.
Who do I want? I want the Kansas City Chiefs to win, and I want them to win by a slim margin because I want to hold it to the end and see the fucking grief and the fuking sadness on the 49ers fans. That's what I say. And I think Mahomes, is going to get the MVP.
Nice.
So I'll say, what did Harrison told me? I think it's, what is it, 9-6? So I say the Kansas City 19, the 49ers 16.
Dang, that's a low scoring game, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Usually Super Bowls are higher scoring, so I'm gonna go with Kansas City Chiefs, right? Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna pick Kelechi, the fucking Kelsey, the fucking tight end.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to be my MVP. And I think the Chiefs are going to win 38-33.
Okay. So this is what we're saying. So that means
let's write it down, dude. So we got it. So you said
it doesn't matter. It's on video.
No, it does because it's between me and you. So
okay. 1916 Kansas City and Mahomes. But us saying this now means the Niners are going to win by about 40 fucking points. It's not even going to be close. Everybody's going to turn it off at halftime because the fucking game's going to be a blowout. That's what I'm afraid of.
I did.
And it probably is because every team I root for, they lose.
So
I'm a loser.
I think Kelsey's going to have like fucking 4 touchdowns today, dude. Just him.
I don't know. I'm afraid that the Niners are going to win, and they're going to fucking win by landslide.
Dude, the one thing I've noticed about Garoppolo is he cannot handle pressure. He's not a good 2-minute guy. Dude.
Okay, so now you're saying that they're gonna play the game. They're gonna say, "Wow, he handled the pressure really well."
Blow him up. And I'll tell you what,
you're jinxing it.
This just came out before the show. They're reporting it on ESPN that the Raiders are going after Tom Brady. Right? I've hated Tom Brady my whole fucking life. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But if he becomes a Raider, I'm gonna get a Tom Brady jersey.
And I was just listening on the way over here to the fucking podcast I listened to, and they were talking about that. They were like, if Michael Jordan wasn't on your team, you hated Michael Jordan and you hated Tom Brady. And and Schultz was saying, he goes, I got into a space where I realized, wait a second, I can not want them to win, but I can view their greatness. I can accept their greatness. And I think that's where you have to be. You have to be able to say, I hate this fucking guy because he kills us, but I'm admiring his greatness and I'm watching his great. Otherwise, you're gonna miss his greatness if you're always hating.
For me, man, and you can say, oh, that's conspiracy or whatever, but go back and look. The Patriots haven't won a Super Bowl by a touchdown. There's been too many defensive calls, too many things. It's a fucking 3rd and 18, and they get a fucking first down. You
could say they cheat. We could say whatever,
I'm not saying they're cheating. It's proven they've cheated.
Okay, but
it's been proven.
They win. They've won. You can't take it away.
That's all I'm saying. And they win, and that's what he does. He wins. So I can't hate that. I mean, but if Tom Brady becomes a Raider, just because they'll be getting rid of Derek Carr mostly, I'll be a fucking Tom Brady fan.
All right, what do we got?
I don't know, dude. How about you want to talk about traumatized?
Traumatized people are traumatized. I was talking to Sarah about
PTSD.
Yeah. Is it? I don't know. It's hard to say because unless you deal with the fucking experience that traumatized you, you don't know how you're going to handle it. But I think a good gauge on how you're going to handle it is the life that you lived up to that point. Like, have you gone through circumstances that challenged you, right? Have you fucking, there's been hiccups in your life. Like, but if you grow up in this fucking, in the free, this environment where you've never had any challenges or faced anything, and then you have an experience that are you that much more traumatized because you don't have that thick skin, you don't have that experience of dealing with traumatization? And that's what I was trying to tell Sarah. She said an older lady got in an accident, and ever since then she's been traumatized. I said, well, maybe her life, she's had it pretty easy, and that's her first real traumatized experience, and now it affects her so where she don't even want to drive anymore. Yeah. But if you have all these experiences and fucking your skin is thicker because you've had death in your family, you've had failure in your life, you've had challenges growing up, you've seen drug abuse, all this stuff that you've done. Like when something comes up and it fucking hits you in the face, you're like, I could deal with that. I've dealt with fucking just as much bad shit before in my life.
I think that's why me and you have a very similar opinion of money, right? Because we grew up without it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we started to get money, we got it because we were working for that money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think we have a very something similar there. But you take one of these princesses being raised now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turns 16, he gets a car because mom and dad got him a car.
Mm-hmm.
He's not paying for insurance. They're paying for it. The kid graduates high school. He goes on a trip to fucking Hawaii or Brazil or whatever. Then he goes to college for 4 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now he's got a degree. He gets out there and tries to get a job. And fucking, why? How come I'm not CEO?
And he's traumatized to it.
He's traumatized, dude, because he's got everything he wanted in his life.
I see that all the time, but it's not even. There's almost like a different way of upbringing now. Is like, you deserve this. Almost like we have young people who come and start working for us. It's like, they don't know why they can't make top wage, and they don't know why they don't get. How come you get a phone?
Well, it's not fair.
How come you get the fast track? I'm like, dude, you just started working here. I've been here for 25 fucking years. I've earned that over time. Like, I don't know why I can't just get that.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's like that going out there and all of a sudden being stopped traumatizes these people. Like, they don't know how to fucking deal with it. That's why I think we're losing the fucking masculinity in men. They don't know how to fucking step up and take care of their families. Women are doing more of that now.
They haven't been shown how to, man.
Right.
Fucking look at just the phone, right? Like, the kids have phones. Almost every kid has a phone now, right?
Mm-hmm.
They don't fucking pay for it.
No.
They don't understand it.
No.
Some of them notice they're like, oh, my data's getting too high or this or that. And I know who they are. When they come over to my house and they're like, hey, what's the password for the Wi-Fi and stuff, right? Because they're not using their data then. They're jumping off.
Right, shit. And I know we're talking about being traumatized, but it's the same thing I told you. I think I told the story before. I went to the fucking basketball game and my daughter bought me a beer, like, because she works, and it was a $14 beer, and she's like looking at it while I got it sitting in there. She's like, Dad, I'm gonna need you to drink that beer. That was $14. I'm like, girl, this is why I tell you to eat your meal when we go out to dinner. This is why I say order what you're gonna eat, because it's real money going out. I don't think they conceive that yet, and when they get out there, they're like, oh, well, shit, it's expensive to live. You have to buy toilet paper. It just doesn't appear in the bathroom. You have to buy hand soap. You have to buy shampoo. You have to buy clothes. You have to actually pay for this electricity? How come I don't get Wi-Fi unless I pay for the internet? Like, all this stuff costs fucking money.
It causes trauma, bro. It really does. That's why you have so many kids. You seen the Snickers commercial where the guy's like, I'm having to work Super Bowl Sunday. You haven't seen that one? He's like, I'm working Super Bowl Sunday so that my 32-year-old son, who still lives at home and has a part-time DJ gig, right? He's rolling like that, dude. But it's his fault. The dude's working Super Bowl Sunday because the way he raised his son.
You're right. And you don't want your kids to go without, but I don't know. You're like torn sometimes. I don't know. But you're right. Yeah, we do that, and so they can have. But I mean, there is steps. Like, you have to follow some steps. Like, we have my daughter. She graduated. She got actually a really good job. She did internship with. She's got a good job. She can actually go get her own place. But she bought a new vehicle. She's saving her money. She wants to buy a house. But we're giving her opportunity. But as soon as she started working, She has to pay her own cell phone. She has to pay her own car insurance. She pays her own car payment. I mean, if she comes home, she can have dinner with us. I have no problem with that. I mean, we still feed my brother. But those things she needs to, and you know what? She's on it every month. So, you know, we have our bills, and we could get into the bills part when we're talking about finances and stuff. But we have our bills, and we already had our cell phones together. We already had a car insurance. So that, and we said, that's fine, Leah, that's fine. But we're going to break down what you pay out of that, and you got to pay us every month for that. Yeah. So, and she does. I mean, she's like clockwork, dude. She's like, she'll pay us like a few days before it's due. She goes, here. And she's been good about it. But that's, I think, like, we have spoiled our kids, but we got to at least let them know that there's a real life out there. And I think that's what you can do.
Well, if you don't do those things, then they're going to be fucking traumatized.
Right.
I mean, that trauma, and trauma comes from all kinds of stuff, like soldiers, right? This is what I thought about soldiers too.
PTSD.
Yeah, you take a lot. These are young men. These are young kids. I was there myself, 18 years old, right? Mm-hmm. You just left the tit of your mom and dad, living their life, your mom and dad's life, what they provided you. Because I wasn't breaking it down, paying rent myself and all that shit at 18. Mm-hmm. But now you're in the military and you're living that military life, right? Now you're just getting adapted to that shit. Then you go get into a firefight or a war or where somebody gets blown up or killed right next to you. That kind of shit is the shit that's going to haunt you for the rest of your fucking life, dude.
And you hear it. I listen to stories. I don't know personally because I've never had to experience it, but you listen to stories where it didn't affect people till later, and they realize, oh shit, I do have PTSD. That does affect the way I interact with people, or I'm fucking on edge, or whatever the case is. You know, unless you, and it's okay to fucking like. What's that? Look at yourself. It's okay to fucking reflect. Yeah, it's okay to do that. It's okay to go talk to somebody. You know, and I hear this all the time with some of the people I listen to. It's like, we exercise, you go to diet, you take care of yourself physically. Well, you have to do the same thing with your brain. You have to be able to exercise it, be able to fucking, you know, look at it and see, okay, it's not healthy right now. Let's talk to somebody, whatever the case is. There's mental health is a big thing, but you're right. PTSD, I think, affects. People want to pretend it doesn't affect them, but it does.
Dude, and it could be any type of thing, like we're saying, a car wreck. Fucking your dad's spanking you, dude. Mm-hmm. You're not getting to do something that you wanted to do. People get traumatized in different ways.
Right.
I will say this, though, man. You remember when The Sopranos came out? Mm-hmm. I like mobster shit. You know,
that's my favorite. That's my favorite show.
I love that shit, too. But Tony Soprano started going and seeing a psychiatrist, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here you have this masculine gangster dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
Having to come down to this level that he needs to talk to somebody about something. But what that did is it opened doors for fucking those machismo men. Like, hey, if Tony Soprano can do it, I could fucking do it, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean...
You never had that before, man.
I think we're in the age now, and then, like, I listen to Charlemagne quite a bit, and he wrote a book about mental health, and he's real big about being able to go see a psychologist and talk to people or a counselor or something, and there's nothing wrong with that, because otherwise you just, you know, bottle that shit up. You never deal with it. What we're doing right now, we kind of speak freely on how we feel and what we think, and like a lot of shit will be seen contradictory because sometimes we throw shit on the wall because this is what we're thinking right now, and it was like, well, like 3 episodes ago you said this, like that's what I was thinking at the time. Like, it's okay to express yourself. There's nothing wrong with expressing yourself, and I think that's what we do right here.
Well, the old hard line of people realizing this is this person, this is the way he thinks, this is the things he do, that doesn't fly with me and you. Mm-hmm. Because my opinion can change about something because you throw a fact to me that I didn't know before, and then I have to put that in my fucking game plan and say, well, hey, I mean, I got to look at this different.
You're going to say something that might spark me to look at something differently. Like, oh, you know what? I never thought about it from that perspective. No matter how old you get, you can learn shit from a lot of fucking people, like just by listening. Nobody listens anymore.
Yeah.
How many ears you have?
2.
How many mouths you have?
Well, it depends how many girls or dudes.
But yeah, there's nothing wrong with talking to people because different shit traumatizes. You're right. Getting spankings, all that shit traumatizes.
Here's the biggest problem we have now is that any problem you have, they have a pill for it. If not, they have 3 or 4 different kinds of pills for it.
We could talk about this for fucking all day.
But that's what people are trying to find, is a solution and a pill from a doctor.
Yes.
When you need to find the solution through vocabulary with a doctor.
That's why I think these mass shootings happen. I think because these kids are given fucking pharmaceutical medications to adjust their ADD, their attention deficit, shit, their fucking whatever it is, their learning disabilities, whatever. They're given a medication, and we've seen these kids be on medication, but in 16 they're taken off. Your mind hasn't developed. It hasn't developed on its own. It's chemically developed. So now we have these kids going to schools and shooting people because they're fucking emotionally, along with social media, fucked up, dude.
Well, there's this vibe line, like this kid was like this, right? This kid was all up and down, right? But you put him on this pill, and now he's kind of like this.
Yeah.
He's vibing like this. But as soon as he goes off the pill, he's going to go back to fucking doing this.
And he hasn't learned that whole time how to deal with those feelings.
Well, I'll tell you something I did learn at counseling, and I like this analogy she used. She says, you have this bag that you carry on your back, like Santa Claus, right?
Yeah.
This bag has guilt, it has angst, anguish, all kinds of stuff that makes you pissed off that has happened in the past, right? And here's what happens when something new happens. You, I don't know, fucking anything. It could be money, sexual, whatever it is. You have this problem, and you put it in the bag, and you just keep walking. You're just living your life. You still got this bag on your back. So another problem happens. You pick it up, you throw it in the bag. Now, what the counselor had said to me is, what do you do to unpack that bag, to make the load lighter, right? You need to start taking shit out and getting rid of it.
You got to resolve that shit.
That's
and,
right,
and
man.
that's what I always tell with Sarah when we fight. And I'm like, she don't want to talk about it. And I was like, I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it. Because what happens is you could ignore it and then fucking get over it and move on to something else. But that shit, like you said, goes in the bag. It never gets dealt with. And then you have animosity. You have anger towards the other person. And you have these fucking feelings of resentment because you never dealt with those feelings. Like, I want to say, I want to talk about it right now. What do we want to talk about? Let's figure it out. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's talk about it. But let's fucking talk about it.
But here's what happens. You have an emotional trigger or some response that you feel like fight or flight, right? And then they reach into their bag and they pull out something and they're like, oh, well, look at this. Okay, 8 years ago. Right? So they've been carrying this
because it never got resolved.
Yeah, they've been carrying this brick in the bag for fucking 8 years.
Because you could have talked about that 8 years ago, and you could have seen where you came from, and I can see where you came from, and we could say, oh, okay, because we do that all the time. And we'll fucking argue, and then I'll say, oh, no, okay, let me stop. I'm sorry. Let me tell you where I'm coming from, and then I'll explain it. Okay, well, she'll go, that's a better way to say it than what you said before. But I say shit straight. Like, I'm saying, well, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then she'll be mad because I said that's fucked up, but I won't explain, okay, well, this is the reason why I think it's messed up. And I'll go through a long explanation. But to me, as a guy, we're more like into the road shit. We're like, this is fucked up. This is a stupid thing. This is retarded. This is whatever. And you can't just say that without giving a whole lead up. And that's where you come with some resolve.
Well, I think the biggest thing you can do, anybody can do for yourself, is you put this fucking thing in the bag. It's this big, right? So you put it in there, and over time, what you want to do is break it down where pretty soon it's just some little small thing. It's still there, but it's really small. The worst case scenario is you put something in that's this big, and then it grows, and now it's fucking this big, right?
Right.
So you get 2 or 3 of those big fucking things on your back. You got attitude, you got fucking emotions, all kinds of stuff going on.
A lot of resentment.
Yeah, so instead of, you need to unpack that bag, and that's part of trauma and part of PTSD stuff is learning how to unpack it.
Yes.
Right? And maybe sooner or later you can get them down to the size of toothpicks or peas.
I think that the younger people coming up have accepted that more. Like, we have this thing where I think we're like one of the last generations where we're like, bottle that shit up. A man's a man. You're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to express your emotions. Like, I think we're the last generation that kind of fucking believes this shit. I think the new generations coming up are like, no, you can express yourself. You can.
It's okay to cry.
It's okay to have an emotion. It's okay to fucking be vulnerable. Like we believe that we can't be vulnerable. We're men. Like, but whatever. But I mean, but we do cross the line to where, like you said before, now all of a sudden the women take a masculine role. There is a balance in there. You can't. And I tell my son this because, like, he's 13, and I tell him, okay, DJ, you can express your emotions, right? Like the other day that his dog was really sick, and then I was like getting mad at him about something, and he started tearing up. I'm like, why the fuck? Because I get hated when he cries. Why the fuck are you crying? He goes, because I don't know what's wrong with Lily, and I'm upset. okay? And I said, there you go. You just expressed to me your emotion, and I can accept that, right? You can't just cry for no fucking reason, and I'll accept that because you love your animal. I said, but there is situations where a man, eventually you're going to be a man, that you have these emotions where you're upset. Sometimes it's better to go and just express them to, by yourself or whatever it is. Like, express them, but sometimes you want to be respected in your family as a man, so you can't constantly be crying in front of them. You can't be this weak person, but it's okay to express your emotions. But the way you just told me, Dad, my dog is sick. I don't know what's wrong with it. It's upsetting me. That's what you're supposed to do.
Well, like the old lineage is like, you go to a bartender, right? You talk to a bartender.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell a bartender any fucking thing you want, because you're not going to have to see him until the next time you go to have a drink in there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's how people need to have an outlet, or they need to find a way to fucking get shit off their chest. And then you make yourself whole again, because when you're traumatized, you're broken.
You have to be honest about it. You can't just say, well, I don't want to talk about it. Like, when I'm with my dad, like, my dad doesn't feel like I'm a good dad. He doesn't feel like I'm a good person. Well, all this stuff because I'm not in the Bible 120%. Like, my life is not about that, right? And I text you guys about that, like, and I'll tell Sarah, or like, I'll tell people, but that's me just getting it off my chest. If I say, well, what's going on with you? I don't want to talk about it. Like, that ain't going to help nothing. Like, then when I talk about it, I like know that it's not me. It's him. It's his issue. It's not my issue.
Well, the biggest problem is communication, right? And if you don't know how to communicate, that's another issue right there altogether.
True.
But you need to be able, whether it's your wife, whether it's one of your friends, a coworker, whoever it is, you need to have somebody that you can fucking use their ears.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can help start unpacking that bag and make shit smaller.
And you could have multiple people. Like, there's certain things you can talk about with a friend that you can't talk about with your wife. Or there's certain things with a coworker you could talk about because they know what's going on at work that you really can't talk about with a friend because you know he's not going to be as invested or interested in it. Why
do you think that there are things you can't talk with your wife about, though?
No, you can, but she's not going to understand it. Like, okay, if I'm having an issue at work, there's a few people at work that I'm close to that we can talk about it, and they'll understand. You could talk to your wife about it, but she's not going to understand, or she's going to come from a different place with maybe a different opinion that she doesn't, and then you're going to get irritated. That's why I find what I do. I'll tell her something about work. She'll say something that doesn't relate to what I'm talking about. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean, and then we'll get pissed off at each other and be like, no. Then I'll be like, you know what? I shouldn't even said nothing. That stuff I should take there. Like, dealing with something like with my family member, with a brother or my dad, I talk to Sarah about it. I'm like, hey, what's going on? She'll talk to me about her family. And there's some stuff that maybe I'll say to you guys that I won't even mention to her. Like, it's okay to talk to different people about different things. And it's not that I'm trying to keep anything secret. It's just like, you're going to understand more where I'm coming from than she is, so I can, verbalize it better.
So you see what happens here is you have multiple outlets to do the work that you need to get done.
Yes.
What's happening with a lot of these young people is they don't know how to talk to people. They talk on the phone. They talk on their computer, right?
Yeah.
They have friends. And that's probably the worst case scenario is texting or emailing shit, because you have the ability to edit what you're saying. Mm-hmm. Where if you say it face to face, you can't edit that shit.
And that's why I think still to this day, family dinners is important, because you sit there and you verbalize it. Like, the other day we were talking, and it was like the first time my son had this like deep conversation about something. It was about like one of our dogs that we had, because I was telling him about Max passed away, and then we're talking about our dog, I forget her name, but Bella. Her name was Bella. But Bella had a puppy when we had DJ, so they were together. But DJ was young when Bella passed, so it didn't affect him. He was telling me about it. He goes, I was young when Bella passed, so it didn't, emotionally. This is what he's saying. Emotionally affect me that way. But I think now that I'm a little bit more mature and I understand the relationship between a dog, and a person, that would affect. This is what he's saying. I'm like, oh shit, dude. I said, you're starting to actually have a conversation that doesn't go, like my friend was like doing this at school, and he was like, and I'm like, I don't understand. I can't follow what you're fucking saying. You're all over the place. He actually had a lucid fucking conversation, and that's where we have some of those at the dinner table. That's where we could teach our kids to be able to express themselves or talk about it. Other than that, all of the family, wife, father, everybody's on their phone. He's over there playing. I mean, nobody's paying attention to anybody.
Well, I saw this,
and we get in that hole too.
I saw this. So in the 1970s, the average family time was about an hour and a half. you had an hour and a half with your family.
I believe it.
And then in the 80s, it dropped down to an hour. In the 90s, it was at 45 minutes. And now in the 2020s, it's 31 minutes is the average time you have with your family.
I believe it.
31 minutes, dude.
I believe it.
Every day. So you think about that, because you have work, you have school, you have after work activities at the house. So basically, all you have, look at, she came in. All you have is that fucking 31 minutes to talk to your family, dude, because they got this, they got the TV, they got friends, they got other stuff that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So if you break it down, you got 30 minutes a day to kick it with your kids, dude. I can hear the TV.
So we good on that? Traumatized? Is everybody not?
We're on family. We can roll right to family finances.
Finances. You want to break down family finances?
Family finances, dude. Okay.
Or California finances? Fuck, dude.
Well, that does kind of roll together, but fucking So every family has a nut, right? That's what they call it. Your nut.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it costs to run your family every month.
Uh-huh.
And if you don't know what your nut is, you're probably in bad finances.
You got to get your nut off.
You got to have a good nut, dude. But you break it down, man, just the cost of the house. First of all, you need a place to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got energy, whether it's gas or electric,
Mm-hmm.
water,
Mm-hmm.
food, your cars, all that kind of shit. That makes your nut, right?
That adds up quite a bit.
And one thing I've learned is me and my wife, and we go about things differently than most other folks have. And I think if everybody had a common denominator or like a game plan for family finances, right, it would make everybody a little bit better off.
True. You got to start out good to fucking end good, though, in a lot of ways, too. A lot of people fucking are behind the 8 ball. I know we always started behind the 8 ball, but, you know, you just... I don't know. California's a different animal too, though, dude. Because you, like you said before, like it's not realistic the way that things are going. I mean, you house payment is $3,000. It shouldn't be $3,000. It shouldn't be. I remember my dad telling me before, like when he moved out when I was born, it was like rent was like $200 or something like that. It wasn't even a think about. And he was making they were making decent money back then. You could work at a fucking gas station and be able to buy a home and raise a family and stuff. Like, it wasn't that unattainable, but now it's like, well, of course, the disparity between the rich and the poor, and it's just like greed, and it's been, how do you your bills are what, $6-7 a month? I mean, in California, you pay $2,000 for rent, you pay another $1,200 for groceries, you pay fucking $1,000 in car payments. So we were adding it up, it's like $6-7 grand. So, I mean, realistically, like with you going to Walmart 2-3 times a week, your electricity, your cell phone bills, your car insurance, your health insurance, all this stuff adds up. It's like, it's not realistic. It shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to be, which we all do, working just to live and just to pay bills. Like, it shouldn't be like that.
You're not getting ahead. And when I sat down and I really thought about it, I only own a few things. I don't own my house. I'm still paying on it, right? There's equity here, so you can say that, oh, you have equity. But I don't own either one of my cars. I have brand new cars. I don't own them, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I really own is a payment.
Yes.
That's all I owe.
But you, and I don't want to get too philosophical about it, but you never own anything anyways. You can't, you never really own your home. You never really own your vehicle. Like, you're always, your home, you're paying property. And I was telling somebody this, they're like, no, you own your home. I'm like, okay, stop paying property taxes. Just for a few months. See what happens. They'll take your fucking house, even if you own it, because they own the property you live on. That's why you pay property taxes. Yeah. Your vehicle, don't pay your registration. See how long you'll get before they tow your shit away until you pay that shit up. Yep. Like, you never really own shit. Like, the government will always kind of own you. But the quality of life we're having, because the disparity between what you make and what it costs to live, especially in California, is not even, it doesn't even make sense. It's not even like this, and you're not supposed to just be living just to pay your bills,
just to pay the house payment, dude. Because like I was telling you, I was looking at purchasing a new house, right? So the lowest, the entry level home in Galt over here, right over here where I live, 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot place. $450,000, dude.
Yeah, that's insane, dude.
And then if you want little upgrades or this and that, or you wanted this kind of carpet instead of tile or something like that, you're talking $500,000, dude, for entry level. How is somebody that's making $25 an hour and his wife's making $25 an hour, right?
Which is decent.
That's $50 an hour as a family, right?
Yeah.
How the fuck they can't afford that shit?
No.
They can't afford it, dude.
No.
So the bubble's gonna happen. It's gonna happen pretty soon.
Yes.
I mean, that's what always happens. It gets to a point where fucking everybody's maxed out on their cards. They're fucking barely. That's what they're doing. They're no longer making headway. They're paying shit off with a card.
Right. Use your tax money to catch up and all the other things that you do. And maybe some people get bonuses or whatever, but I don't know. Yeah, it's fucking, it's difficult. And until you break it down to somebody or break it down to your kids, like, they don't realize what it really costs to live. But, all you can do is what you can do. I mean, you can move out of state. I mean, that's your option.
Well, here's another problem too. So say like I make $50 an hour and my wife makes $30 an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a disparity in our wages because I make more money. So either you can pool your money together and be a team and play the game as a team.
Yes.
Or you go about it separate ways. Well, I make this much money, so I'm going to pay this amount of bills. You make this much money, you pay that amount of bills, right?
But I don't think, I mean, I guess everybody's different. I don't think that's what a marriage is. A marriage is a fucking teamwork. I mean,
that's what it's got to be, a partnership.
I think it's a partnership. I think you both have to look out for the team. Like, you can't have, and I've heard stories of people I work with in the past is their wife will go out and max out a credit card you don't know about or buy a bunch of shit you don't know about and spend all this money. It's like, put you more in debt. Like, you guys can't do that. You have to be on the same team. Like, I mean, from pretty early on, me and Sarah, we just put our money both in the same bank account and the bills got paid, right? I was paying a bill, now she pays all the bills, and I fucking rarely know what I have in the bank account because I fucking check it maybe every 4 months is because she pays all the bills. I mean, but you have to have that trust in each other to make it work nowadays. You can't just be like, oh, well, fuck, I'm going to pay, I make 70% of the income, I'll pay 70% of the bills, you pay 30%, because at some point, you got things that cross over, kids' clothing, vacations and shit, and you're like, well, who's going to pay for that?
Dinner.
Yeah, you can't, I don't know. It's just easier for me just to fucking integrate everything and just say, this is what we do. We live as a team. We work as a team. We pay as a team.
See, I'm having that issue. Me and my wife are having those issues with finances and stuff like that. So I'm open ears about it, like, trying to learn a game plan or format a way to pay bills equally, or like you said, be a team and just put it all together. I don't know. I'm willing to try anything different, because what we're doing now is not really working.
Yeah. But again, I mean, the percentage of people who are just are like a week away from being broke is like, what, 70% in this country or something like that? Yeah. I mean, it's like 80. It's like, it's high. It's like majority of people are a week or two two paychecks away from just being fucking homeless, dude.
I heard it. So they did like, and it was one of those Quinnipiac polls or something like that, where they did 5,000 people, 5,500 people. And 85% of them didn't have $1,000 savings.
Yes, I believe it.
85%, dude. That's really high. That's 8 out of 10 don't have $1,000.
Because that's the way we grew up too, dude. That's the way we grew up. Is like, okay, you're gonna get your birthday gift when I get my check next week, or whatever. Your clothes are gonna go on layaway, and we'll get them out later, and then they end up losing them, and you never fucking see them again.
Or you outgrow them.
Yeah, fuck. So that's the way it is. Well, we'll get it when I get my check, well, whatever. But that's how I've always seen it, and that's why I told Sarah. I said, I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live to like, oh, I can't pay my electric bill till I get my check next week. Can we wait one more week? I want to be able to pay. You're supposed to be able to pay what, 3 months? 3 months of bills in your bank account. Like, that's what we strive to have. But it's hard, and I think a lot of people pretend that it's not, like it's so easy for them, everything's going good, whatever. I think most people are lying. I think most people are struggling like everybody else, or just trying to pay their bills. And there is some people who are doing good, but I mean, as far as I go, maybe I'm in debt, maybe I have credit card, but whatever it is. But you know what? I've never borrowed any money from anybody. I've never fucking claimed bankruptcy. I've never fucking, defaulted. I mean, I've always stood up to my part of the bargain. That's why when I say, people will call me, oh, you're a commie, you're fucking leave the country, because I don't like Trump. I'm like, dude, I'm more American than fucking you are, dude.
Yeah.
I've never not paid my taxes. I've never not done what I'm supposed to do.
I think that's part of it, though. No, the new norm is a bankruptcy, right? That's American. That's not in other countries. That's an American thing to go and bankrupt. Like I told you, I did it in 2005. And fucking when I was in there was a lady that was there for her 7th bankruptcy, dude. You know, there's a game to taxes. There's a game to being rich and shit.
And you know what? I shouldn't fucking like. I'm not critical or being like a fucking downplaying or bad mouthing to people that do that, because really in my head I'm like, fucking the rich do it. Fucking how many times? And I'm not trying to point out Donald Trump as just the fucking because of this, but
yeah, but look, he did it. Dude.
He did it, and he recouped it. He went back and he did something else. But that's what businesses do in America. That's how they stay ahead of everything. So why, if rich people can do it, why can't poor people do it? I'm not against that. Like, you know what? Get yours, do what you can, because the mentality that I have is fucking antiquated. Like, oh well, no, we got the bills, we're gonna pay it, we're gonna fucking do what we gotta do. I'm gonna be American citizen. You know, I don't have to fucking drive around with the fucking Confederate flag or American flag in the back of my truck to prove that American, or say America, or wear a fucking American flag, or say I have guns. I don't have to do that. Like, I'm just really being an American. I'm like doing what I'm supposed to do. But you know, the disparity between the rich and the poor has grown so much where I'm not against fucking people trying to do what they can to get ahead. I'm not against that.
Dude, like I'm telling you, this fucking podcast, right? It is a business. This is legitimate business on fucking paper.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's an American dream.
Right.
I'm a business owner. You
yes.
know what I mean?
Yes.
I've yet to make a fucking dollar.
No.
But what it's allowed me to do is provide my family with some breathing room.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Because you're able to write some of this shit off.
Well, because the mics cost money. The fucking promotional vehicle. I mean, we have a really nice promotional vehicle for the show, dude. You know, there's certain games that I wasn't privy to as a young man. Because if I was 20 years old and had learned this game, I would have been doing it. I would have been a lot better off than I am right now, dude.
I know we got subjects on there, but I want to talk about something else that was fucking bothering me. Is this fucking okay? And we have to take it serious. Is this coronavirus, right?
Yeah.
There's been like 200 and something cases, 200 something deaths.
Let's just round it up to 1,000. Just say 1,000.
Well, there's been. I'm gonna say 300 because it's 260. Yeah. But up to this point, the flu has already killed 10,000 this year. I mean, well, just the flu season. Yeah. Like, we have to put it in perspective. Like, this, I mean...
They have to sell fear, though. They have to keep you in constant fear in the media, and that's what they're doing.
Why?
Because they got a leg up on you.
Because I think...
They got the cure, Weller. They got the coronavirus cure, man.
And I was listening to this guy talk. And
I'll be there in a bit, Dad. I'm doing a show.
I was listening to this guy talk, and he made sense in everything he said. It's like, you know, with Fox News, CNN, it's with TVs, commercial, everything. He goes, everything has to do with advertisement.
Yeah,
whether you do a podcast, whether you do a TV, you want to sell advertisement. And he goes, that's what it is. That's why when they have this fear, and you say, what does that have to do with that? Because they create this fear. Now you're watching the news, or you're going online, you're getting clicks, you're clicking the article.
The coronavirus memes, right?
So when you go on there and you click their thing, they're going to play you something, and then in the middle they're going to have a commercial, and that commercial is paying for that time right there. So every single thing's about advertising. Everything. It's all about merchandise and advertising because everybody's trying to sell something. So that's what it is. It's like that fear they put in you is so you go to watch, you go to click, you're watching it. They sell like 5 commercials during there's just as many commercials as time of commercials as there is the fucking thing you're watching, because they're selling shit, and that's what they got to do. They got to sell advertisement. You got to click it. You got to watch your show. You have to.
No, dude, I noticed it. I've been listening to Rush for years, right? But I've noticed over the years, he used to do a 3-hour show, and you would get about 2 hours of content.
Mm-hmm.
Now, today's shows you get about an hour and 20 minutes of content, because the other 2.5 or 2 hours 40 minutes is commercials, dude.
True. And then
it's fucking commercials. He does a commercial, and then he comes back and he'll say something real quick for about 10 seconds. And then go to another commercial break.
You watch it on YouTube. Now I'm watching regular music videos, and they're playing commercials during the music video. Everything has commercials in it. So I don't know.
Dude, my dad, you don't understand. Cool. No, I'm totally for it, man. Like, it's the next fear thing. Like I was telling you with the impeachment and all that stuff. They're done with that now. Mm-hmm. But something else is going to come up. There's always going to be a new game plan.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
They can't just let us be. They can't let us be happy. They got to fear you into it. Oh, fuck, I'm going to die. My kids are going to get the coronavirus.
Yes, and I'm telling Sarah, she's so panicked about it. I'm like, Sarah, the 10,000 deaths in the flu season so far. There's been 200 reported cases, like deaths across the globe.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, let's put it in perspective here. Like, you're probably going to die, have a better chance of dying driving to work than you would the coronavirus.
Let me ask you this, too. When have you ever heard about the coronavirus? Never.
On the news.
Never, yeah. I never even heard about it ever. How many pandemics or fucking other types of viruses out there that can fucking kill out 100,000 people or, like, wipe out all the Mayans and the Incans, right?
Yeah.
How many of those are out there that I haven't heard about?
What about fucking cigarettes, dude? What about fucking alcohol? What about all the deaths that they create? And we're like, oh, no, that's fine. But the coronavirus is the biggest thing in the fucking world.
But vaping, dude, come on. Vaping's killed like 600 people, Weller.
Yeah, I know.
How many deaths does cigarettes cause?
Right. Millions.
How many people are walking around with oxygen tanks and shit because they fucking smoke cigarettes?
Yeah, but they're making laws against vaping. They're making laws against vaping right now, but cigarettes are still fucking legal, dude. Yeah. It's a death stick. It's a cancer. What do they call them? Cancer sticks.
Here's what's going to happen, and I don't like to use the word woke. I don't like using
that.
I don't like that terminology. But there is an apex where the fucking pendulum swings, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's getting so far to one direction that, you know what, there's going to be change because people like us are fed up with the bullshit. We're tired of these politicians lying to us and saying, hey, there's going to be a chicken in every pot. No, we got enough money for everybody to have a chicken already. Quit fucking taxing us. Let us see where our money's going. There's a boiling point, and we're getting close, man.
Yeah, we're getting close. But, this is like you're saying right now. It's the fucking not able to survive on fucking making good wages in California.
Yeah, you make $100,000 in California is nothing.
It's nothing. That's low income in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
that's actually.
It really is. I think it's 89,000 is the low income cutoff in Bay Area.
Well, I thought it was like 120. Be honest with you.
It might even gone up since I.
Because as a family, and it's like, but back in the day when we were kids, we're like, oh, that'd be so mad. That'd be badass if you made $100,000 a year.
I was happy. I remember this when I was we were living at Palm Gardens. I was like, man, if I could only make fucking $18 an hour, I would be fucking set. Dude.
I was thinking the same thing. And then when you get 18, you're like, oh, fuck, if I made 20, that'd be cool too. And then you're like 25, then you're like, there's no way I'll ever make 30. And you're like, 30? Fuck, I'm doing fucking great. This is the best I'm ever gonna do. Then you get run race 35, but then you realize, fuck, I'm doing just as good as I did when I was making fucking 18 as I'm making on fucking $50, whatever you're making.
Because a house isn't 100,000 anymore. A house is 500,000.
Yeah, it's
and you know what's happened? Our wages haven't gone up.
Not the way they have. That's why I get upset a little bit when people complain about the minimum wage thing. I'm like, that's shit. That money is shit. That's not even enough to live on. And you're mad because they're gonna get paid a minimum fucking below poverty level fucking wage. I mean, stop with that. Because we in America, there's so much money. They have, when the Disney guy got fucking $900 million fucking bonus, and 70% of the people that work for him make less than $50,000.
Yeah.
Like that's disparaging. Like, how do you justify that? Like what
the fuck does this guy need $900 million for?
They're so detached from reality. It's like, dude, take $50 million bonus and give fucking $850 to your employees that will fucking love you for it. That will fucking be like, oh shit.
Well, here's the other thing. So if you don't have to pay this guy $900 million, maybe you don't have to run as many commercials as you're running. Because I'll tell you what, when I see commercial or clickbait, that kind of shit, I'm like, I'm not buying that.
That's what I say.
I'm not buying that
if I'm on a YouTube video and they have a commercial, as soon as that commercial comes on, I say, okay, that product, I'm not buying.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it. They're the same way. That's what I do too.
Dude. Yeah, fuck them. Fucking, we're hot, dude.
Hey, can we leave off on this?
Yeah.
So, Kobe Bryant passed away, right?
Yeah.
And the guy brought up a good point. He's like, okay, so, every time somebody big passes, you start thinking about your immortality and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Because you're looking at somebody who you thought that couldn't happen to. He's got money, he's rich, but that can happen to anybody. So, what would you want your legacy to be as a human being?
My legacy would be, I want people to say, you know what, Frazier was a good guy. He belongs on the good team. If I had 5 friends that I had to pick to have in my life, I want Frazier to be one of those 5 friends.
Okay,
that's what I want, because it matters to me what I know what my family thinks about me, but like your friends kind of dictate who you are because they're your friends, right? Mm-hmm. So if you have a bunch of tweaker friends, you're probably a tweaker.
That's what I was saying to somebody Friday about that. That's what I was and to kind of bounce off that a little bit was that I was telling them about, when we talked about it before, I was like I could fucking move to a fucking bad area and maybe save a little bit more money, but then my kids are going to go to school with these other kids that aren't doing good, that are doing bad shit, and maybe that will affect their life long term. Like, they're going to be fucked up. They're going to be getting in trouble. Like, but if I put them in this good school with good kids, maybe that's what they're going to see. That's how they're going to be. So that's why I believe that. But legacy wise, and I was listening to the guy who's like, Charlemagne and Schultz were like, you know, then you realize all this materialistic shit is all fucking bullshit. Yeah. He goes, it's your family. It's the people you go home. It's the kids that you raise, because you're passing on something special into this world, into everybody's soul, into the spirit, into everything. You're passing on something positive into this world. That's what you want to leave behind.
Well, I'll tell you, because I've been to plenty of funerals for work guys, right? Mm-hmm. And you only know this person at work. If you're lucky enough to have friendship outside of work, that's even better. But I've been to funerals where maybe 2 or 3 people get up and talk, right? Mm-hmm. But I've been to a couple funerals. Larry Brookins was one of them. Larry Brookins was a big deal in Galt. He coached thousands of kids, not hundreds, probably thousands of kids. Mm-hmm. Football, baseball, basketball, all of it.
He affected people's lives.
He did.
In a good way, too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So you have a guy like that, and you have one person after another wants to get up there and tell a story or tell how good of a guy he is. That's what I want. I want people to fucking say, you know what, Frazier was a good dude.
You want a little bit of what you have rubbing off on some people, so whatever you leave behind is more, has more substance than fucking leaving behind a house to somebody. You know what I'm saying?
I want them to say something like, Frazier said this quote, or I remember this. He said, "Women have smaller brains than men."
Yes.
Right? And
yes.
It changed my life.
Frazier believes that. And
yeah. So I want them to say shit like that.
I disagree.
Are you ready, dude?
Did we even stop talking one time?
Another good show, man. Super Bowl, go Chiefs! Everybody hates us for saying that.